Welcome to Rochester Business Connections, powered by Balbert Marketing, LLC, where I get the chance to chat with Rochester, New York's very best business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. I am your host, Ben Albert. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, we don't do advertisements. My fee for this show is simple. If you gain value from the episode, personally share with a friend and explain your favorite part. Let's get started. Kimberly, welcome to Rochester Business Connections.
Thank you, Ben. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Ultimately, Kimberly helps take care of the mind and the body. From a bird's eye view, introduce your business to us, Kimberly.
Okay, thank you. It's called Third Eye Wellness. Presently it's a personal care business right now. We specialize in eyebrow shaping and body waxing. And recently I've included virtual yoga classes, just began about 2 weeks with that. Eventually expanding into other areas of all things wellness, whatever helps us feel good. I guess that would be it as of right now.
Yeah, so you help clients look good and feel good. And what got you into the whole industry? Did you start with the yoga? Did you start with the personal care? What has you so passionate about it?
Well, I started with the yoga. I've been practicing yoga for about 11 years. And shortly after practicing, I began to realize the benefit of it holistically more than just, I was a runner and I used it as a way to stretch. And eventually, yoga became my preferred form of exercise. And I started just researching it. I didn't know anything about it, how long it'd been around, or how beneficial it was to the whole entire body, not just the physical part, the asana, which is the yoga a lot of people are familiar with. And then in 2013, I started the Midtown teacher training, 200-hour teacher training, and started teaching. And yoga is a true labor of love. And meanwhile, as I was teaching, I was introduced to the waxing community as a receptionist, actually, in a waxing salon. And I would be at the front desk doing my reception thing. And, people would come in stressed out, a little harried, and I would check them in. And then they would go in for their appointment and they would come back out and they would be relaxed and calm and centered. And I started to really observe that and think, wow, I want to be on that side of the appointment where people are being cared for and nurtured. And one thing led to another. And then a couple years after that, I began being an eyebrow specialist. And that just led to soul food connections and amazing happenstances. And that's kind of bled into a whole wellness perspective that I'm trying to share now.
I love it. I love it. Kimberly, one of the questions I always like to ask is, how do you help your clients and help the world? And I almost think it's common sense answer. You make people look good, you make them feel good, you make them feel comfortable. What has some of those experiences with clients been? You make them feel like $1,000,000?
Yeah, I think it's hard sometimes because, people can be a little grouchy and cranky. And I think I learned early on in the eyebrow practice, the yoga practice is a little bit different. People come to yoga overall with a certain mindset. You kind of have the calm yogi who just wants to disappear and be kind of guided through poses. But with eyebrows, you get a cross section of humanity and you get really busy people who are very stressed out and they come in for 15 minutes and they want it in and they want it out. And I can remember being in an appointment like that and someone being just a little bit cranky. And then I decided to begin just kind of holding them in a space. I would sort of feel out the appointment. If they wanted to chat, I would chat. If I sensed that they were wanting to just disappear, I would honor that. And I think I was being true to myself in that appointment. And little by little, people just started feeling more comfortable. And I would feel, as I allowed that person just to simply be, I could actually feel the sort of energetic shift in the appointment. And then people would just start asking for me and return visits. And it became the soul food connection, simply by, pausing, which is a yoga technique, right? We pause, observing, which is another yoga technique, and then proceeding from that. And that's how the two disciplines kind of merged into what I do now.
That's incredible. Ultimately, being present in the moment and feeling your client out, and a transfer of energy, a soul food. If you're anything like me, I'm a scatterbrain. I'm always doing a million things, and it's sometimes hard to relax. I might be that person going into the appointment, kind of just all over the place, like just get things done, and then by the end, I'm relaxed. Were you always good at reading people, or was that something that came with practice?
Oh my God, no. Yeah, that came with a lot of practice. I think, growing up and, hurrying through life, I think I was a very reactive person for a very long time, and I still struggle with that a lot. But I've always had this tendency to be an observer. And if I would see someone who seemed calm or kind of put together, I would observe them and think and wonder how they did it. And I think if we can observe, if we can kind of get about outside of our head sometimes and observe other people, I think that's a great way to learn how to better ourselves, right? And so I think I always just wanted to be a better person every single day, even from a very young age. And if I saw someone that I admired or respected, I would observe them and think, how did they get there? And a lot of times, a lot of the people that I would be drawn to were yogis. Um, so, one tribes, great minds think alike, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a thought experiment, but if you were to look at yogis or mentors or people that influenced you, and you could take three people out for, some wine or a glass of tea, who would you invite to have that dinner party and kind of pick their brain?
you know, that's a hard question. I think uh, alive or dead or both.
Let's do both.
Both. I think Jesus Christ is an amazing figure. He's an amazing historical figure. And I think from my interpretation growing up Catholic, I think he's been misrepresented through a lot of religions. I don't want to get too spooky here,
Mm.
but I feel like his words are flawless, and if you read his words, they really are a yogi's words. And there are a lot of yogis that testament that he was a yogi. And I'd love to sit down with him and kind of say, what were those parables saying? They're so ambiguous. And, how do you, feed 5,000 people with, was it 12 fishes or something? And was that literal? Did you mean that literal? And I think that would be fascinating. I think my mother died when I was very young. And she's been sort of mythological. I don't know what that word is, mythologized.
Sure.
I'd love to sit down with her and chat with her and ask her about why, she endured a lot of things she did in her life. I think that would be great. Frank Sinatra, I just have the hugest crush on.
Yeah.
I would love to sit down with him and, pick his brain because he was just so naturally charismatic. But then I've read about 4 or 5 biographies on him, and he's kind of a schmuck too. So I'd like to pick his brain and think, like, what were you thinking? You had the world, But
Right.
so those three strange figures, I suppose, would be the ideal dinner party with several bottles of wine.
Yes. Yes. That
But
honestly,
Jesus would be there, so it would be easy because Jesus would be there. So.
limitless wine, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to ask that question. Did you literally turn water into wine?
And what kind? Was it red or white? Because that matters,
I've
depending on what we're
always
eating.
imagined it to be a red wine for some reason, but for some reason I've never thought white wine. That's just
No,
a
I've always
tangent.
imagined it to be red too. I think that's because that's the best wine. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it is the best wine. But I love to get on tangents. Kimberly, are you a Rochester native? How long have you lived in Rochester?
No, I'm actually, actually, I was born in central New York in
Mm,
Oneida County in Rome, New York. And then I moved to Pennsylvania at 15. And I stayed there for high school and college. And then I moved back here in 96 to finish my bachelor's degree in English at Brockport. I have family here, and I was a single mother at the time. So I had family here for support. And then I just turned right around and got my master's in British literature and education. And I was going to start teaching. And then I met my husband now and have two more children. And so now I have three, and it's been 24 years. And I consider myself a Rochester native now because I love it here so much. Um, I never left. I just finished college and decided to stay. So here I am.
yeah, I love it here as well. Talk about it all the time. Do you have favorite Rochester, monuments, locations, or maybe just dining places to go that we would find you on the weekend?
Well, no, I mean, I'm a mother of, three, although they're
Mm,
grown, but I'm pretty, a homebody, but I do, I love the MAG. I love the Memorial Art Gallery. I think that is such a underrated treasure. When the
mhm.
Little was open, I loved the Little. I think we have some of the best restaurants now, especially over the past 5, 10 years. We've really grown into a wonderful, I'm a total foodie. I grew up an Italian kitchen, and so I love food, everything about food. And but yeah, I think my favorite thing to do. I love the festivals. The Park Ave Festival, the Clothesline. I think those were great. It's a shame with COVID this year, but um, I love Wegmans. Wegmans is an event in itself. Um, and I love the Four Seasons equally. And I love that we have a real six, people will argue that winter is 6 months, but I disagree. And I think that we
Mhm.
have a beautiful transition from season to season. And I love each one equally. So that's a good reason to stay, I think.
Yeah, it's beautiful. No natural disasters, all four seasons. It's the perfect place, and we're in the middle of fall, and the weather's been great, right?
So great. So great.
And of course, we're recording this in the midst of still COVID with a lot of uncertainty. As a young business owner, as a new business, really reinventing yourself as you go. What challenges has COVID brought to your business? I know you went virtual with the yoga. Can people come into the studio? What's the current state of COVID these days?
So my studio's intimate. That's a great word for small. And I just can't socially distance with yoga. And I really don't like the idea of wearing a mask when you practice yoga because there's
Mm,
so much breathing
right.
techniques and it just really constricts that. So I have gone virtual with that. It started 2 weeks ago. I offer 2 classes a day to start. And that's actually going pretty well. I've got a pretty good following. And it's limitless, so the COVID is, I think there's a lot of people. It's just me doing the services here, the waxing. And so I'm from soup to nuts. You just get me and I control everything because I'm the owner. I get tested every 2 weeks, which is under mandate that I have to do. I wear my mask, I wear my goggles, I wear my shield. I'm basically in bubble wrap. But even with all those measures in place, there's still people who are, understandably very nervous. And a lot of regular clients haven't been out really since COVID, since we reopened. So I'd say that's a challenge, Um, but I think that as we go forward and everybody practices what we're supposed to practice, I'm confident that things will lighten up a little bit. I'm hopeful. But considering all that, things are going really well. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, I get excited when I hear you say it's just you because that means the person gets full attention. There isn't sit with the secretary in a different room and then you don't know who you're going to get or you need to make an appointment. Every time someone shows up, they get the perfect quality of care. Do you do a lot of, grooming for men as well? Is it weird for a man to come in?
It's not weird at all. I have men's brow grooming, and really it's the same thing as a woman's shaping, although much of the time men just want to be clean,
Mm.
right? Men don't come in and say, I want a beautiful, elegant arch. Some men might, but a lot of men don't. My husband's a burly, big German, and he just wants his long, curly ones trimmed up. And then I'll do a quick wax, but it's a lot less drama, maybe. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
terrible word. But yeah, I do a lot of men grooming. Probably I would say 10-15% of my clients are male.
Great, because I might need to stop in because during COVID, I kind of let myself go for a little bit. So there's definitely some fine tuning we could do on the face and everything.
Very
uh,
exciting. Very exciting.
I appreciate you being here. I want to move into the rapid fire round where we just ask, quick questions to ultimately get to know Kimberly a little bit better. And
Okay.
if you're up for it, we can get started.
Sure, let's go.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Beer or wine?
wine,
Dogs or cats?
cats, lots of them.
Do you have a favorite season?
Oh, God, no, I love winter.
Mm,
I
why?
do.
I'm
I
curious.
just I love the crispness. I love snow. I love all the holidays. I love bundling up. I love being cozy inside and watching it. I love being outside and dressed for it. I think it's clean and crisp, and I've always loved it.
I love that. Are you an optimist or ultimately you genuinely love winter? You catch me some you're in the perfect state, Kimberly.
I know. I've actually had clients with their eyes closed, and we talk about it. They're like this, and I'm like, and they'll be talking about winter and how miserable it is, and I'm like, I love winter, and they're like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I love it.
Do you prefer online shopping or in-person shopping?
Um, God, that's a 50-50, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't answer that. Sorry, Ben.
No, perfect. I'm in between as well. What about Android or iOS?
iOS, come on.
iOS seems to be the more popular one. I've found that iOS users are very committed to the brand, and a lot of Android users are just like, okay, Android.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
know.
That is exactly it. And I don't know why. I don't even know like 90% of my iPhone. I don't even know what it can do, but for some reason I just love it.
Yeah, yeah. What else? I like the question favorite ice cream flavor.
Favorite ice cream flavor. I like Butterfinger Blizzards from Dairy Queen.
Ooh, absolutely, absolutely.
Or
Kimberly,
Ben and Jerry's salted caramel core. I get. I try not to ever buy ice cream because I would weigh a lot more than I do now. But yeah, salted caramel core Ben and Jerry's ridiculous.
I almost should ask, favorite guilty pleasure rather than ice cream flavor, because a lot of people don't really. We love ice cream, but it makes us feel sick.
Yeah, yeah. Guilty pleasure would definitely be cosmopolitans. I could drink them all
Mm,
day long.
love
I
it.
hope there's no. But if there's young children watching, you shouldn't ever drink alcohol. You're gonna have to edit that part out. But guilty pleasure, I think, would be cosmopolitans and French fries. I love both
Mm.
together at the
Kimberly,
same time.
at the same time. Kimberly, I've had fun. I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything we missed? Is there anything that I should have asked you that we kind of forgot? If I knew your business better, I might have asked you.
No, I think that's good. I'm just happy to be here. I'm looking forward to serving the community. As I grow, I'll, let everybody know there's some things I have rolling around in my head as far as the things
Mm,
I'm going to add to wellness. I think wellness with the capital L is what makes us feel happy and what nurtures us. physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, those things. And I look forward to finding that out as I go along too.
I'm excited to see where it all goes. Where do people keep in touch with you? Where's the best methods to, send you an email or just kind of follow you and keep in touch?
Either or, thirdeyewellness.me is my website. Also on Facebook and Instagram under Kimberly's Third Eye Wellness. You can follow those pages as well. I'm on Blossom Road, right in the North Winton Village. I'm nestled right into the North Winton Village, right off Blossom Road, right off 590, 780 Blossom Road. I guess you could always call 585-270-4761. That would be great. Love to have you, everybody.
Thanks again for coming on, Kimberly.
Thank you so much, Ben. It was fun.
Thanks for listening to Rochester Business Connections. Don't forget to share this, rate, and comment on your favorite platform. You can also email me, ben@valbertmarketing.com. Let's connect soon. Until then, keep thriving, everyone.